Hi and welcome to this week's project. This has been a project that I've been meaning to do for quite a while. It's to make the logo sign for the centre of here. Last week we made the base for the router. I thought we would do that bit first, obviously, because we do it in proper order. So that's the router bit there. I have tested it out on a sign. I'll quickly show you that. I made this sign just to test it out. Put that a bit closer. So this week it's a little bit more complicated this time. Here I've actually had to glue up a couple of bits of board. That's just about dry now. It can come out the clamps. I just actually, for this project, because I just want it to go on the back there, so I didn't need any fancy wood or anything, so I basically bought cheap shelving from B&Q, cut it down to the size I needed and glued it together because it wasn't broad enough. I've actually printed out the logo, and it comes out because I wanted it slightly bigger for going up here. So I've actually had to print it out on several pieces of paper. Now there's a couple of ways of doing this, but I'm not going to show you that myself because there was a brilliant video done by Bongo from the Poultry people. I'll put a link below for that. It's a program called Posterizer. It's called. It's a free software that you can use, and you can blow things up as big as you want or as small as you want, really. Well, A4 piece of paper, but you can do a poster above that. And on his website he actually shows you making these. So I'm going to put a link into that video to show you the software for blowing these up, and that's the best place, but it only runs on Windows. I do have a Windows laptop, but I very rarely use it. I only ever used it for the X-Carve, so I've had to do it on the Mac. Now the program that I use, which is not near as good as the Posterizer, but it does the same job, the one that this printed out was, I had to download, sorry I'm reading off a piece of paper, Adobe's Acrobat Reader, which is a free program, and inside that you can make posters. And what you do is when you open that up, you drag your file across, make sure it's able to enlarge, really. So if you're looking for files on Google or that, go for large. But I would seriously, I'd watch his video, even if you've got a Mac, watch his first because it gives you a rough idea on how the softwares work. But in the Acrobat Reader, you drag your file across, and then it gives you 4 options on the bottom. I think it's A4, poster, and a couple of other ones. But anyway, you click onto poster, and then you can make the percentages up, and it'll blow it up onto a piece of paper. The only issue I've found with it is that if you want that onto 8 pieces of paper, it'll probably print out 16 because it's not as accurate, but it does do the job, so you can still do it even if you're on a Mac. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to sand off the board to get the glue marks off on there, and I'm actually going to, I think I'm going to cover it in, if I can find it. I'll sand seal it first. I shall do all this on time lapse, so I'm going to just give it a sand down, then I'll put some sand sealer on it, then I'm going to put masking tape over the whole front of it, and I'm going to glue this picture to it. And when I've done all that, I will come back then and explain what I'm going to do next. So keep watching. Okay, so that's the transfer glued in place. I don't know if you can see there, I've actually, the logo that I took is from my sticker and from my labels and stuff that I use. So it's like a double lined, it's shadowed this. So I've actually gone all around mine and just done the outline of the above image. And I've also drawn a bubble around the edge because this is where I'm going to fill in the outline too. I'm going to outline these using a carving liner, which is this. It's that's the bit I'm using here, and I get those from Rhoten UK. So it's got a very fine point on it. I'll only stick it out about an eighth of an inch probably on that, and I'll go all the way around these. That's going to be the first thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to do it on a time lapse because it all takes time. This table is not ideal that I've got it on. It's as wobbly as anything, but as of yet I haven't built the workbench in here because I need one that I can actually set down and set up again. So I'm having to use this stupid little plastic table. So if you see it wobbling all over the place, that's what it is. So anyway, that's the first bit on. I should get this into place and that now. Should just slide. That's perfect. And I'll do the the first lining on there, and then I'll come back after. Okay, that's it gone round the first time. I don't think it was such a good idea, the paper. But anyway, the main thing is I've got the first bit cut out. I've just actually lengthened it a bit to probably 2/8 now, and I'm going to go back round these lines again and just make it that little bit deeper before I go off and do the outside. Just so you know what I'm up to next. Having to wear a mask as well because there's quite a lot of fine dust. Okay, that's that bit's done. As you see, with the paper it peels off and it actually catches under the base of the DeWalt. And to be honest, if this was going to be a sign and I was going to be doing this project a few times, if I was doing I don't know, like rose shapes or something like that, I think I'd probably use a scroll saw and actually cut it out. Or if you knew somebody with a laser engraver to do it onto MDF. For this, I wanted to just go back to this sign because I didn't put this up on the YouTube channel when I made this. But what I used for this was lettering. So you put all your lettering on, spelling your name or whatever. And then I used a spray paint and just lightly sprayed over it so that my outlines were there. and I must say it was a lot easier for doing a routing on that then. So like I say, for this project there's only going to be one of these done, so doing it on the paper I can fiddle around and do that for that. It's not exactly gone perfectly, but anyway, I'm just going to continue on. The next bit that we'll use is, this is a 90-degree V-bit, and where I've done this like bubble round, I'm going to go round the edges with that, and then I'm actually going to I'll probably remove the outer paper at that point, just to make it a little bit easier. I'll be able to see it a little bit better. And what you basically do, you're not going to get it perfect, you get this stippling effect. I don't know if you can see that. You get like a stippling effect, and that's what I'm looking to get. So just do a few different angles there so you can see it. So basically you just go and you just try and clear it, and that's what it leaves. That's there's no fancy way of getting that, it's just how it works out. So basically I'm going to do this round here, then I'll pull the outer paper off just to give me a bit of a clearer way, and I'll stipple within those areas all around here in between. So anyway, I'll pop it on a time lapse. Off I go again. Okay, y'all, that's it carved. Pleased actually how it came out. So not perfect, but only my second sign I've ever done. So that's it. As you would have seen with a time lapse, the mess was just horrendous. But then you just have to put up with that with projects like this, and well, I've got a hoover out here so it makes no difference. So anyway, that's it cut out. I've done a fine line around here because this is to go up on the back of the workshop. So I've done a fine line around here because I'm actually going to cut this out on the bandsaw because I just want the actual shape of it. I've left a curve here because I'm just going to, like I say, it's just going on the wall of the shed, so I'm basically going to screw straight through here, and I've done another round at the bottom there and straight through there to put it onto the wall. So I'm going to go to the bandsaw. I'm not going to show you that bit, and then I'll set the camera up for doing the spraying, because the next thing after that will be to spray it all black, and then once that's dry is to sand it. So the paint that I'm using, I'm just using this acrylic top coat. I mean, this is a matte. I don't really know if it would matter any. I'm not that experienced. This is the one I picked up, and certainly when I used it on this sign here, which is nice and dusty now, when I used it on here, yeah, it was a matte, but I put a top coat of a varnish over the top, so it gives you that little bit of a shine anyway, so it doesn't need to be anything spectacular. I would use probably the cheapest black paint I could get, but I have been obviously watching Dave Rhoten, and he's the sign maker man, and he's where's given me all the ideas for all of this, and it's his work I'm copying. I'll put a link to him below. Check him out. Brilliant site. If you want to get into sign making, they teach you everything. They make signs. They're in America. They make signs for companies and that, but they basically try and teach you. So anyway, I'm just going to use this. He uses, I think it's marsh paint inks, which I was thinking of maybe getting some of that. Not scratching your hair, it's just my cat. So anyway, I'm going to go away and cut this. I'm not going to show you on a time lapse me cutting it, but everything else will be time lapse now, right through until till after I've sanded this bit, and then I'll explain what's going to happen next. I quickly wanted to just come back before I spray it. That's it, cut to shape. And I've just sanded the back. I'm going to be leaving the back natural anyway, because it's going to be screwed up onto the wall. So that's it. All I'm going to do now, I think, is put some screw holes into here and countersink them so that they'll spray. No, I'm not actually going to do that. I'm just going to go away and spray it now. Okay. Well, that's it sanded off. I did the edges black as well. So yeah, it came out quite well considering. I should have probably covered the knots right enough, because there's black paint in those, and there's the odd area which would have been a high spot, but for what I want it for, I'm not too worried, because it's going to go into the shed. I think I'm actually going to colour this. I think I'm going to do the brown and the green. And I don't actually have anything today to colour it, so I'm going to have to go away into town tomorrow. But on Dave Rhoten's site, he talks about using Sharpies. So I'll maybe see if I can get some Sharpies of the right colours, and then I'll colour it. I probably should have showed you a sticker. Hold on, I'll come back. Okay, that's me back. That's my logo, and that's my sticker. So we'll maybe see if we can get some colours and maybe put it onto it. It's only an experiment after all. So anyway, I'll go, there's nothing I can do tonight, so for you it'll be in within the next second or so, but I'll come back with what I've decided to do. Right, hi everyone, that's me back. As I said yesterday, I wasn't quite sure whether to colour this in. I actually quite like the black and white look. So as I said, I had to go off to town to buy some Sharpies, right? So I've managed to get a hold of Sharpies today, like a set of them. Couldn't get a hold of the chisel tip, which is, if you watch the Dave Rhoten videos, that's what he uses, right? So I could only get fine point, which is never an ideal thing when you've got something so big. But anyway, I got these, and now I am going to, I'm not actually that sure, but I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to colour this in, because I've got this far, and well, it's a bit of a test anyway. So so I have decided that I'm going to use these felt tip pens to colour it in, and then it will be sealed with a varnish. Now I think this might be a bit of a Marmite project. I think some people might like it. In fact, most people might not like it. But anyway, I'm going to put you on a time lapse. I'm going to colour this in, and then I'll know, won't I, for again, that such a large area. I mean, I'd wish I'd left this white now, but it's too late. So I'm going to go ahead and colour it in and stop yuntering on. Oh well, there we are, all done. I think it looks okay actually. Some people will really not like it, but for me, for the workshop, I think I'm quite pleased with it. So that's the original. Can't see that very well with the light. So the next thing I need to do is I need to blow off any excess dust. I'm going to give this half an hour or so to dry. Blow off any excess dust, and then give it a spray of varnish, and I'll come back and show you at the end. Okay, and that's it finished and up on the wall. I'm quite happy with it actually. It looks quite nice. The green stands out. I just did a clear coat of varnish. I always use auto varnish, car varnish, to put on everything. That was the first sign I made, and this was the second. And when you're doing the outline, you feel that sometimes the router bounces over into the lines, and I did that quite a few times on there. But I wasn't too worried about it, because when you spray it with the black spray paint, really, it just adds a little bit of character to it, and thankfully I did it on every letter, so every letter sort of looked like that, so probably got away with it. On this one I did have an issue with this bit here, but apart from that it actually did come out a lot better, so I think it's just practice really with the hand router on these. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this project. This has actually been done a couple of weeks in advance, so I may cover this for the weekly update, because if not, you're going to see it before it's even finished. So so that's it anyway. That's the sign done. Quite pleased. It's another bit done towards a workshop, and I think that looks a little bit better as a background than just a plain wall. I need to now get something around here to put stickers onto. I do have a couple of stickers, and I will be announcing those once this video's gone out. I shall then get them put up, so not quite sure how I'm going to do it, but we'll sort that out at the time. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and share the videos. That really helps. Thanks very much for watching. See you again the next time.